You can see all the newly laid silk, and then it gets to a point where you can see the old silk where it's like a broken record up on the top left there. Now you've got to understand that a spider, especially a golden orb or any of these spiders that live on the web permanently, they don't spin temporary webs, but that is her entire universe. She doesn't leave that. Actually, she does. The only time she leaves that is when she is ready to lay eggs, and she'll head up into the foliage of a tree and spin in a very intricate cocoon with a few hundred eggs. But that is her whole world, and her eyesight isn't very good at all. When I say her, these are only females that make these webs. The males are very tiny little spiders. There's a male just up to the left of her. That little one is a male that is going to wait on the web until she's ready to mate. Now when insects get caught in the web and the web starts breaking down because of insects and things, you'll find that the reparations always happen in a greater concentration on the side of the web where there is a higher concentration of insects. That's the main strand. That's almost as strong as cotton, stretching at least 12 feet or more to that little jacket plum. Is that a jacket plum? I think so. Morning, Wendy in Florida. Welcome to our drive this morning. Thanks for the question. Wendy wants to know if the silk is ever used for anything, since it is such a strong compound. Interesting that you should ask that, Wendy, because yes and no. They have found uses for it, but unfortunately it's extremely difficult to harvest. While we're here, I've just noticed a squirrel sunning itself on the top of this dead leadwood in front of us, and a little plant growing out the top, which is I can't see. Beautiful little picture of a squirrel high up in a dead tree. I think what they've done, Wendy, is they've managed to harvest enough of it to experiment, I suppose, with different things. And I think one of the things that they found is that it can be used like Kevlar. In fact, it's possibly stronger than Kevlar for bulletproof vests. But other than that, as I say, very difficult to harvest. It requires many adult spiders, and as far as I'm aware, they can harvest maybe 100 meters of silk a day. Of course, they've got to feed the spiders a lot of insects to get that. And then I suppose one would need an impressive amount of silk to produce anything. There was evidently, somewhere in the past, there was a Frenchman, I think it was, who harvested some silk on Madagascar, because the golden orbs of Madagascar somehow are the biggest golden orbs in the world. I think golden orbs are found pretty much on every continent. They might be called different things, different types of golden orbs. And evidently he spun a mat out of golden orb silk, and that was, I don't know, I think that was legend, or whether it was true, I'm not sure, but scientists tried to replicate it. Now, you don't always have to believe everything you read on the web. But there was evidently I saw it, a picture of what appeared to be a mat spun by golden orb silk. How true it was, could have been a hoax, I don't know. I do know that every year when the Golden Orb spiders start dying off, because they only live for a season. We don't see them in the beginning of summer because they're so small, they're tiny. And it's only towards the end of summer, towards the end of April, when they start laying their eggs, that they start dying off, especially because the weather changes. When it gets cold, they start getting weaker and weaker because of the lack of insects. And, well, just because once they lay their eggs, their duty is done. Anyways, the webs, most of the web disintegrates, but those main strands, one that Andrew was following now with the camera, that one strand that was stretched from tree to tree, that's not sticky silk. There are about 8 or 9 different types of silk on that web, well, that she produces, not on the web, only a few of them. But I harvest it's left behind after they die off, and I wear it because I like spiders. This one broke off the other day, a while ago. This is still from last year, and it's if you were to try and pull it, probably cut my skin. It's so strong. This is stronger than cotton. But I've noticed that when it gets wet, it gets very elastic, and when it starts drying, it shrinks. So I was wondering, since that happens to the silk, that has those properties, I wouldn't want to be in a bulletproof vest in the rain, because it would squeeze the life out of you.